Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to talk about cranial bones. And here you can see the diagrammatic representation of skull showing both cranial and facial bone, and you can refer for cranial bone for the reference. Now let's start our topic with introduction. Cranial bones are 8 bones that make up the cranium, the portion of skull that enclose and safeguard the brain. These bones are interconnected by sutures which are immovable joints in adults and flexible during infancy to allow growth. Now let's talk about what are the bones of cranium. They are one frontal bone, two parietal bone, two temporal bone, one occipital bone, one sphenoid bone, and one ethmoid bone. All of these combine to form 8 bones of the skull or 8 bones of cranium. Talking about bones of cranium, now let's talk about them one by one. First is frontal bone, that is unpaired bone. That means there will be one frontal bone in every skull. Location: forehead region and upper part of the eye socket. Function: it forms the anterior portion of the skull and houses the frontal sinuses. Also gives shape to the forehead. Second cranium bone is parietal bone. There are two or pair bones. That means there will be two parietal bone in every skull. Location: either side of skull behind the frontal bone. Function: it forms the roof and upper side of the cranial cavity. These bones meet at the sagittal suture. Next bone of cranium is temporal bone. That are pair bone. That means there will be two temporal bone in every skull. Location: lateral part of skull near the ears. Function: they protect structures of the ear and provide attachment for jaw and neck muscles. They include landmarks like mastoid and styloid processes and houses parts of inner ear. Next is occipital bone, that is unpaired bone. That means there will be one occipital bone in every skull. Location: it is located back at base of the skull. Function: it contains the foramen magnum, that is a large opening that allows the spinal cord to pass through and connect to the brain. Also provide attachment for neck muscle. Next, talking about bones of cranium, we have sphenoid bone, that are unpaired bone. That means there will be one bone or one sphenoid bone in every skull. Location: it is located in the midline of skull in front of temporal bone. Function: it is often called as keystone of the cranium because it articulates with all other cranial bone. It forms part of base and sides of skull and supports the pituitary gland within a depression called the sella turcica. Next, talking about bones of cranium, we have ethmoid bone, that is unpaired bone. That means there will be one ethmoid bone in every skull. Location: it is located between the eyes and behind the nasal bones. Function: it contributes to the nasal cavity and medial wall of orbits. It includes structures like cribriform plate for olfactory nerve and crista galli, that is a brain attachment point. Now let's talk about importance of cranial bones. These bones not only protect your brain but also support facial structures and sensory organs. Anchor muscles for expression and chewing, house air-filled sinuses that lighten the skull and enhance visceraleness, like frontal sinuses, ethmoidal sinuses, and sphenoidal sinuses. So this was all about cranial bone. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching.